Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Tuesday, February 7th, 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. Albania's vote against the treaty on eliminating nuclear weapons at the NATO Assembly in December has triggered debates between the President of the Republic and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Yesterday, the Minister of Foreign Affairs explained the reason why Albania voted against the treaty, while the President of the Republic denies having been informed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, even though he has asked for the information. The Minister of Foreign Affairs was in Shkodra today, where he met with Socialist Party structures, and he responded to the President, declaring that an official reply had been sent to the President. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has operated in accordance to all the rules in power. We provided an explanation to the concern raised by the MP Topali, and we have also responded to the President of the Republic. The President officially asked for an explanation for the issue, and we officially responded, declared the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The President reacted again to the Foreign Minister's statement, declaring that he was informed only today about the issue. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs reacted, declaring that the official information to the President was sent on February 3rd. The Central Election Commission has removed the mandates of 6 city councilors, an effect of the decriminalization law in action. The city councilors were found to have a criminal past and problems with their self-declaration forms. The Central Election Commission removed the city councilor mandates from the cities of Elbasan, Malesi e Made, Leja, Rogozina, Shkodra, and Malic. There is a postponement of the commission for a Puka city councilor who was convicted in 2004 for murder and harassment, but was later set free. The commission is asking for more information about the case before making a final decision. Democratic Party Chairman Lulzam Basha held a meeting with Konza residents to discuss the opposition's protests scheduled for Saturday, February 18th. He and Konza residents discussed the difficulties of unemployment and their feeling the state has abandoned them. The DP chairman invited the citizens to join the opposition's protest on February 18th to remove what he calls a corrupt government that has plunged the country into poverty. The DP chairman said that February 18th will be the day citizens will remove the government. The DP chairman visited a poor family in Konza, which has lived more than 6 months in poverty because they could not afford to pay the energy bills. Afterward, Basha said, Edi Rama promised to do everything for the needy. Taxes and prices have increased, but economic aid for the needy has not increased. The citizens are abandoned by the government. Let's protest together on February 18th. Nothing good comes from this government. Basha presented the Democratic Party's social program to Konza residents and declared that the Democratic Party is determined to guarantee free and honest elections and to return the power to the citizens. Tirana's prosecution has launched an investigation into the way the Audiovisual Media Authority has been giving national licenses after lawsuits were filed by RTV Aura News and Tring Operator. Yesterday, the board members of the Audiovisual Media Authority were called into the prosecution to give their testimony regarding the procedures followed for distributing national licenses to TV stations. The Parliamentary Media Commission is also asking for the testimony of the Audiovisual Media Authority board members, a proposal made by the Democrat MP Luciano Bocci and agreed to by other members of the Commission. The Democrat MP proposed holding a hearing with representatives of local audiovisual media operators regarding their claims about license distribution. He also proposed holding another hearing with the chairman of the Audiovisual Media Authority, which was accepted by a majority representative in the Commission. The hearing is expected to be held next week in a special gathering of the Commission. Prime Minister Edi Rama was at the Durrës port today, where he announced an agricultural investment of the government with the purchase of 61 new excavators. The Prime Minister declared that the new city halls will be responsible for avoiding future flooding and guarantee the irrigation and drainage of agricultural land. The Prime Minister spoke of assurance for farmers that there will be water for irrigating every plantation and that the irrigation and drainage channels will be continuously maintained thanks to the new machinery the city halls will have available. The new machines will be enough for this phase. Meanwhile, our objective is that the new city halls establish cleaning and maintenance enterprises for the drainage and irrigation channels in order not to have blocked channels, declared Mr. Rama. According to the Prime Minister, this investment in the agriculture sector has been a long time in coming, and it will not only come to the aid of domestic production, but it will also avoid flooding in the country. Parliamentary Commission of Productive Activity approved the bill for a €63 million loan today, which will be given by the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development for the development of urban and tourist projects in Berat, Gjirokaster, and Saranda. The executive director of the Albanian Development Fund presented the projects of the loan, including the projects for the north. He explained that 13% of the loan amounts will be used for studies and projections, and the other part will be used for investments. The opposition members expressed their discontent, accusing the government of focusing its investments in the south and of forgetting the tourism in the northern areas. The executive director of the Albanian Development Fund explained that work will begin immediately after the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development adopts the agreement. The projects will start with the reconstruction of the Berat Castle Road, street lighting at the center of Gjirokaster, reconstructing roads around the castle, and the restoration of Saranda's promenade. The judicial reform, an amendment of the main law, is expected to toughen the provisions against domestic violence and provide more protection for violated women. The stakeholders think that women suffer with a lack of protection, and for this reason they have proposed concrete changes in the criminal code in order to give women more access to the justice system and make sure that the defense orders are efficient. The Socialist MP Vasilika Husi says that the legal framework has shortcomings and that women are exposed to violence. Meanwhile, the expert of the Ad Hoc Commission on Judicial Reform says that the legislation on domestic violence is being adapted to the international directives, with the new legislation offering protection and support through social services to victims of violence. The Minister of Social Welfare and Youth, Mr. Klosi, called on women to denounce domestic violence. He believes that the establishment of a national online counseling service will improve the situation of and the system to refer the cases. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.